Hi guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So I had so many topics that I wanted to talk about and I wanted to post and got ready to post. And then the Supreme Court ruled on the affirmative action for like Harvard and Stanford and those colleges yesterday. Or the day before, and kind of just threw everything for me in a tailspin, because it begs to ask the question, right? Which is something that my family and I discuss all the time when changes happen in politics. Is like, we as a people, and when I say we as a people, I'm not talking about black people, I'm not talking about brown people, I'm talking about Asians, I'm talking about collectively as a people, right? Every one of every color, from black to green, right? Including all the aliens that live among us. What I want to know is, when we're asking for things as a people and what we'd like to see change in society, I mean, are y'all thinking it through? Right? Because collectively as a people, the government works for us. And a lot of times I don't think people really understand that the government works for us. You do our bidding. That's why we elected you. You're not up here to tell us how to live our lives. You're here to do what we collectively can't all do. Like, we can't all go down to the police department and be like, listen, this is how we want things to go from now on. This is what we'd like to see. This is how we'd like it to run. No. So we elect one voice that's supposed to be all of our voices. And I don't know what the fuck these people are doing, right? Who are these people that we're putting on the platform? Because look, they now say that, okay, so let's talk about what affirmative action is, right? So affirmative action was put in place so that people like us, black people now, brown people, and I don't know who the brown people are, black people, all right? Because I don't even think they really just be like black people, brown people, are Asians, Indians. These are all minorities. They're just all black to them. It's just two races. There's black and there's white. Okay, there's no more. Okay, there's no in the middle. And affirmative action was created so that there's fairness, right, for people who are more underserved. Okay, and now the Supreme Court went and upended that in colleges. And the one good thing about that is that now the colleges, they have to put their money where their mouth is. They're like, no, we're not doing this token hire. You know, that shit that Kaepernick kneeled for and still have his fist up for, and people are just like, sit down. Right now, he should be the talk of the town, right? So now they're saying that, okay, now you can accept me into college just based on my race. And the bad and good thing about that is that when it comes down to affirmative action that plays a part where people do token hires, because I see it where I work. I see they try to do diversity hires. And then you hear the whispers around the office like, oh, it's a diversity hire because, we're not representing people of color. I hate that term. We're not representing black people up here, right? We have them down here. So they're support staff, but we don't have them up here at the top. And we have, there's a wide pool of black people that you can hire that fits, on the top, but no one hires them because they're overlooked. And it's the same thing in the colleges where they do those token kids, and it sucks because it also means that you are not being picked on your merit, like academics, that you're really actually gifted. And every so often you read about these gifted black kids that got millions of dollars in scholarship. But yo, those are not the only black kids. Like the ones that they chose to highlight are also the token ones. You know, gifted kids graduate from school and get millions and thousands of dollars in scholarships every single year, every single day. They don't highlight them because they want to keep that narrative. And I hate that. What I hate more is that people don't do their homework. You guys just, you watch a couple of videos, right? Like this one, and probably not this one, because nobody likes hearing shit that don't agree with the narrative. Okay. People vote for Eric Adams because he was black. He's shit. Okay. He wants to tell people how to live their lives instead of running the city. That's what you were elected to do, to run the city. I don't need you to tell me what to eat. I don't need you to tell me how to eat. I don't want you to tell me about climate change. That is not what I hired you to do. I hired you or elected you to run city policies, the police department, the fire department, the Department of Buildings that you can never get shit done. Okay? That's what you were hired to do. So do your job. Do your job. Now, just like Roe versus Wade, right? Just like Roe versus Wade, and they want to tell people what to do with their bodies. Now they're after affirmative action. Do you realize where we're headed? We're heading right back to where we're coming from. So all these things that people are fighting for, and they're like, oh, it's progressive and it's better. It's actually not progressive. We're going right back to the Jim Crow era. Is that what y'all want? Look, I never want to be the token black girl that a company hires. But if I am the token black girl that they hire, fine, fuck it. I got hired. Do you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to run with it. Because now I got my foot in the door. And what else? You do know that once they did the whole Roe versus Wade, now it's affirmative action. What's next? You guys don't even see it coming. Don't even see it coming. And in 20 years, when they reverse everything that brought us to where we are so we can do stuff like buy homes, because now they did it for colleges, now they're going to do it for jobs. And now they're going to do it for banking and the finance industry. And it's just going to be just like a domino effect, just knocking every little thing over. Right? But people don't see that because they're like, there's always going to be the people on the right talking about, oh, this is progress. This is not progress. This is not progress. I don't think it's progress. I actually think we just took 5 steps backwards, right? Because now they are going to accept you into colleges where you write with your personal essay about how your race played a part in your life and education, and how you've been discriminated against and how you overcame adversity. But it has to be tied into your race so tightly that if they read your personal essay and they feel like this shit is not black enough, okay, this could be anybody, and you don't get in. Why can't just get in on my merit? At the fact that I am smart, right? Like I am book smart, or I play the cello well, or it is so sad because the world that's turning and becoming more accessible is not the world that I want my kids to live in. Like the way that is happening is not the world that I want my kids to live in. And it's so sad because if people actually realize, not people, I'm talking about like the everyday person walking down the street, because a person going to their job this morning got on the bus and hear or reading in their news feed about the Supreme Court ruling on the affirmative action in those two colleges. They were like, that don't have nothing to do with me. But it does. It does. It has everything to do with you. And now, what are they gonna go after next? Like, what's next? I'm terrified to see what's next, because I have 2 kids that's going out into the world. 4, right? My stepdaughters that's going off to college starts in August. My daughter and my son, who's only 5. By the time he gets to 17, I don't know. So I'm gonna need you guys to sound off and tell me, what are your thoughts on the ruling by the Supreme Court getting rid of affirmative action? Because let me tell y'all something. The people out in California that want reparations, they don't even know what they're asking for. They don't know what they're asking for. And people all over the world that they're saying that they should get reparations. Like, it's like asking me to put tape in a bucket of water that I'm like Jack and Jill going up the hill. Right? Actually, love that nursery rhyme. And because there's so many lessons in it, it's not as simple of just Jack and Jill went up the hill. As a matter of fact, I got one better. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. I love that one, right? How do you think affirmative action being taken out the colleges affect your life? What do you think is next? It's a lot. I woke up this morning and I saw like every single newspaper, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the Observer, the Examiner, every single paper. It's talking about what it means now for people, Black people, brown people, green people, what it means now for us applying to colleges. I mean, going from here on out, I have a friend who have a daughter in a college upstate. So if you watch this, shout out to you. And she is like maybe one of 5 Black kids. I gave her a full scholarship. Great. But they didn't give her full scholarship completely based on the fact that she's fucking smart. Okay? That she graduated in the top 1% of her high school. That she's gifted. She's actually truly academically gifted. They didn't give her a scholarship based on that. They're like, oh my God, it's a Black kid that applied to come here. Let's take her. And now, when we make promos for kids to come to school and say, we are diverse. Look at these 5 Black kids. We're going to put them in the promo. Okay? Carrie, I'm making my content. Stop calling me. I'll call you back. That is so messed up. I remember working in private banking. I think I told y'all that I work in private banking. And when I got hired, there were other Black people working there. Historically Jewish firm that I worked for, Israeli Jews. And I was sitting on the 14th floor. And I'll never forget this woman that sat downstairs in the money transfer department. She came over to me at lunch in the cafeteria and she said, "So you are the black girl everyone is talking about." And I said, "Everyone's talking about me?" She said, "Yes. Everyone's talking about the beautiful, skinny black girl on the 14th floor." And that surprised me because I saw the other 3 or 4, maybe 5 black people that worked in the company, and none of them sat with me all those weeks of me having lunch in the cafeteria. I looked at them and when I walk in the cafeteria, I notice they all look away. So I sit by myself, which is fine. I don't like talking to people when I'm on my lunch anyway. And so she came over and she said that. And I said, "Well, what's the news?" And she said, "Well, there's a certain type of people that they put in the sky with them." No lie. That's exactly what she said, word for word. I said, "In the sky?" She said, "Yeah, where all the gods sit. And you have the look and the body type." And it wasn't until after, so I just thought she was just a miserable woman at the time. I'm in my 20s. I'm just like, okay, if you're saying that I didn't get the job based on the fact that I have skills, then that's messed up, Carol. And then I thought about it, like after, right? And I remember the interview so well up until this day. I went to the interview. They looked at me and said to me, "You look exactly like the type of person we want sitting at our front desk. You're personable, you're beautiful, and if you want the job, you're hired." Not once did they look at my resume. But I haven't been working for a year. I wasn't looking for a job very long. That's when unemployment was fun, right? That's when you were unemployed and you got let go from a job and you got unemployment for a year. So I was like, fuck it, I'll take the whole year and stay home with my kid. And I did. I did that. I was lucky enough to be able to do that. And I did that. And now I was ready to go back to work. Freshly being married and ready to go back to work. And that is why they hired me. And I worked there. And they were very, very nice to me. They were very nice to me. They invited me everywhere. And they asked me that whatever I needed. And they let me help with other projects. And I literally just sat there and be pretty. And I was okay with that. But that was messed up. And that is affirmative action at its finest. But guys, seriously, what does this now mean for us and our kids, right? Because now at age 40, if you hire me based on the fact that I'm black, I'm the token black girl on the 14th floor, I am probably going to tell you, you can take your job and shove it. That's probably because I am smarter now. I read more, and I'm married to someone who's book smart, who, when he's talking about historically what has happened in this country and under what president, he knows his facts and he can deduce stuff. I'm also friends with a brilliant professor who don't ever get his flowers. White guy. Mr. Gomes, Professor Gomes. He's brilliant. I knew he was brilliant my first week sitting in his psychology class, which I failed my first semester because I really hated psychology. But he was brilliant. He actually told me after I failed, and I was shocked that I failed, that if he was grading me based on my look, I would get an A+. But I failed his class. So I had to retake it, and I passed the next time. And all these years later, Mark and I are friends, and he is my biggest supporter. I love him. I have a lot of respect for him, but I love his mind because he is brilliant. And I think it's because he's brilliant, even though he's white, that he doesn't get his flowers. And any student that is lucky enough to sit in his class like right now, actually, I think I'm going to do a video of Mark. I'm going to call him in and we're going to talk about affirmative action. And you guys can see what I'm talking about. We're going to talk about psychology and what's going on behind it. He's actually going to be in my next video. Let's talk about it. Listen, guys, drop your comments, drop your concerns. And if you don't know, you should know what affirmative action is, when it was enacted, why it's here, why it's important. Should we do away with it? Should we take it off the table? Let me know. Sound off. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I want to shout out to all the people who vote for me consistently every day on Favorite Chef. Thank you, guys. I love y'all. All right. I see y'all comments. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's keep voting. The contest ends in August. It's a long ride. Ride with me. Okay. Bye. See you guys soon.